Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today we're taking our first look at Richard Rider Nova in the upcoming May update. This is on the APK provided by the Star Creator Club by Netmarble Monster, and a lot of people are really hyped to see how strong Nova Richard Rider is going to be, because although the loot box controversy overshadowed the character, as a meta breaker, Nova was among the best ever. This Sam Alexander Nova, he completely destroyed the meta when he came into the game. He had the strongest iframe ignore skill, and he could just lock you in place in PvP, and he was also very strong for PvE. So everyone is wondering now, how does the Richard Rider Nova, who is supposed to be stronger, who is in canon, in the comics, much stronger than Sam Alexander, how does he stack up? And, additionally, what comes out of his deluxe pack, because he is the deluxe pack character, so you obtain him via the 6,600 crystal purchase. It says there, it's in Korean, but trust me, he's the 6,600 crystal epic quest character. Now I can't tell you what you get in that pack, because as you can see here, I don't have it unlocked, and then when you go to unlock it here, you can see I cannot click on it, but you absolutely for sure do get Richard Rider Nova that way. So the fact that he costs 6,600 crystals, and the fact that he is the second Nova that we get, and the first Nova had such an insane impact in the game, it really builds up people's expectations. So does Nova deliver on those expectations? For PvP, I think 100% he will deliver. For PvE, I'm not 100% sure, but this Nova is different. This is not just a copy paste. It is in some ways, but it's not in other ways. So we'll talk about it. So let's take a look at the character here. So he's got 5 skills, Nova skills, blast skills, explosion skills, smash skills. So the first skill just has a guard hit, and it's a beam. It's actually like a blast skill. It's not an infinite beam skill, so it will run out, but you can move around the V-pad. So it's got some nice, play style with it. And then you got Lightspeed Strike, which has all defense down up to minus 40%. It's a bit awkward, minus 40% for 5 seconds, as you will see, because he has another skill that has minus 50. So I don't know about that one, but it's a pretty decent skill. It looks like a Nova skill. He like zips around with an iframe. 3 is chain explosion smash. This is the iconic Nova skill. You've got iframe ignore again coming back. You've got an 80% chance to penetrate everything, which means super armor, barrier, shield, immunity, and invincibility. And then you've also got a crazy super armor plus 100% defense. So he doubles his defense for 8 seconds when he casts this skill. That's going to make him a lot tankier. As the universal, they have higher base defense. So you can see here at level 60, with no investment in his defenses, like I don't have defensive anything except for the ISO, he's already touching down on 10k. So you could easily get him up to 20k or higher by doubling his defense with that skill. So that will actually legitimately make him tanky, because if we compare him to other tanky characters like Thanos, he's in the 20,000, 25,000 range. So Nova can absolutely hit those numbers or higher if you build him in a specific way. So that one's quite nice, and it's a 10-second cooldown on this skill, so you can spam this one a lot. This is the PvP skill that we're looking for. Nova Force Sphere is very similar to the other Nova's 5th skill. It's got a very nice AoE, invincibility. It's got a great self buff, 25% all attack, and then it's got a chance to miss, which is cute. But then Supernova Crash, iframe with all defense down up to minus 50, a 11% heal, so you got 5.5 for 2 seconds, so it's nice. He can bump up his HP that way, and then he gets immunity, and he gets a crazy 30-30 all attack, all defense. So that 30 all defense is going to stack with that 100%, right? Crazy. And then he gets a 30% crit rate buff. So lots of self buffs, lots of effects: healing, iframe ignore, chance to miss, immunity, invincibility, penetration. And then on top of that, go look at his tier 2 passive: guaranteed dodge and skill damage bonus damage. That's not as good. Okay, what else? Applies to all hero allies. So this is where he becomes better than the other Nova. Rather than just applying to himself, he's going to give every hero on the team 25% ignore dodge, which is nice for Corvus and Quicksilver World Boss. It's also nice when you're fighting Quicksilvers and Spider-Mans and stuff like that in PvP. And it's going to give you 40% increased damage dealt to supervillain types. Yeah. Now keep in mind, that is his 4-star passive. This is not his tier 2 passive. So that means if you just buy him, let's say from the store, right? You buy him for 6,600 crystals, but you don't yet have your Nova at tier 2. You have him at tier 1. Oh, it applies to self. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say it applies to all allies anyways. Okay, but no. So you have to get him to tier 2 in order to get that effect, but it's a very, very strong effect. He basically combines, you know, Ronin's passive or Wiccan's passive or Ancient One's passive with someone like Shuri's passive. You don't get the damage reduction, so he doesn't have any damage reduction, but he does have a ton of increased damage. Now, one thing I want to show you guys before we get into some gameplay with him, because I do want to show you some gameplay, is the skill in terms of what has iframe and what doesn't, because that was one thing we saw on the pre-recorded stream with Cage and Kim that left people a little bit worried, especially his third skill. So we're going to take a look at his third skill here. You can see there, full iframe. Now, the penetration doesn't appear. A lot of people have brought this up. The penetration on his third skill does not appear. It appears sometimes. You can see it's there, but it doesn't always appear for some reason. But you see the penetration is that yellow icon with the shield, with the black arrow going through it. He's got two icons. That second one is the defense, the all defense. But you can see, I think it's just a visual glitch. Sometimes if you're too close to the enemy, when you press the skill, you can see there it didn't activate the buff. I still think the buff is there. It would be very silly if you have to attack from far away in order to get that buff. That'd be a very strange thing to add to the character. Maybe they did that, but yeah, it seems to be just when you're very close to the enemy. If you're right up next to them and you press it, it doesn't seem to activate the penetration. But to be honest, when I've played him in PvP, it hasn't mattered. He's always activated it, and he always just like shreds enemies. So 3 is a full iframe, so it's just like Captain Marvel's. It's very, very strong. This is like one of the best PvP skills in the game now. And then his 5 is a delayed iframe with really nice hits, nice damage, lets him stall. 4 is just a huge burst of AoE, as we've seen. Not an iframe, but he does get the invincibility. And then he's got the 1, which is a blast that you move around, but it's not infinite. But it's nice. You can use it to back away in a PvP fight to put some distance between you and your enemy. And then 2 is kind of an iframe. It's just an emergency iframe right at the beginning, but then you want to cancel that into something else because the rest of the hits don't do much. So I'm going to do a quick preview of what you can expect from him in PvE, but keep in mind I have a CTP of Authority, so it's not going to really showcase his full potential. I do think he can be very strong in PvE if you build him properly, but I do think that overall his true value, his true worth is in PvP content. So I think unlike Nova, whereas Nova was just so strong for everything, I think this Nova, he may have some value for ABX, but I don't think he's going to be able to compete with tier 3 universals. Well, there's not that many, but like Captain Marvel in terms of like raw damage output, he might. I'll be surprised. Maybe he can surprise me. But yeah, 30% energy attack plus the 40 that he gives, plus the 45 that she gives, plus the 45 that she gives. Yeah, 120, I think, if my math is correct. Oh, where's Shuri? At least 120% increased damage to supervillains. So he's got a ton of self buffs for that, which could make him still good enough and able to solo Galactus in like 5, 6, 7 minutes. Who knows? We'll have to see how high his raw damage is when we don't factor in all defense down. But his raw damage is definitely more than good enough for... Oh, I got interrupted. Okay. Cool. His raw damage is definitely more than good enough for PvP. So we got interrupted on the 5, so we could not start the all defense down, but we're going to get it here to get the heal as well. The 5th skill has a lot of hits, so you will be able to stack up 50% all defense down. Now, he is going to cleanse, but it's okay. We're going to apply more all defense down there. A little bit more there. But yeah, you can see, like, the damage doesn't seem to be that impressive, but then you'll see in PvP that the damage is very impressive. I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of the PvE action. I think he'll be much better at level 70, and I think he'll be much better with, like, a CTP of Energy or CTP of Rage. He has short enough cooldowns that I think a CTP of Energy could definitely work, although it's 10 seconds on the 5th skill. That's actually kind of brutal. But everything else is pretty nice. You could try to proc on 3, actually. So yeah, I think he has value in PvE. Not going to be as I don't think he's going to be as much of a powerhouse as people expect for PvE content. Maybe good for squad battle, probably good at least as a support for ABX, because he combines the leadership and the passive. So 30% energy attack and 30% increased damage to supervillains. So, or 30 or 40, no 40. So yeah, instead of Medusa or instead of Hyperion, you will get the 40 and the 30, and then you can bring along Ghost Rider, Ghost Panther for an additional stack. But now, I want to show you where he was really going to shine. And we're going to take on some seriously meta teams, okay? These are not joke teams. We're going to take on the best of the best. And this is, remember, this is a Tier 2, level 60 Nova. Not supposed to, guys, level 60 characters are not supposed to be able to do anything in PvP, especially since especially since he's not even native tier 2. So okay, I need that 5th skill to pop. Okay, okay. All right, let's try again. Okay, same team here. We're gonna try and not have Nova die right at the beginning. We're gonna sacrifice our Star-Lord for this setup here. We just need the 5th skill to not get interrupted so we can start the chain. There we go, and then we go into 3, 4, 2, back into 5. And you can see you get a nice, you can kind of get them locked down. And yeah. Oh, we got really close there for a level 60 character, right? Like, for a level 60 character to do that much damage to Jean Grey with this full team, with Colossus and everything, is very impressive. So, you know, it's hard to gauge his value. I mean, it's hard to show his full value, I should say, at level 60. Because it's extremely unfair, like level 70 at least versus tier 3s. But he absolutely shreds other level 60 characters, and he can kill. I've seen him kill Jean Greys on auto, which is crazy. But unfortunately, most of the star creators have taken PvP way too seriously, and they're all using the same team, which kind of just is Marvel Future Fight in a nutshell, I guess. Nobody wants to try anything new. Everyone just wants to copy and paste the same thing that works. So I have to go fishing here for someone who is not a meta whore. But here we go. It doesn't matter. People can play whatever they want to play. It's just you know, it's the APK. You want to try new things. I'm trying to look for new things. I'm not trying to find the same thing. So let's see how he does. I haven't fought him against Silver Surfer actually, but he is very good. So we have our own iframe ignore. Okay. Not the damage I was hoping to see. Okay, we're having a little bit. Okay, we died against Silver Surfer. Cool. Okay, we're gonna try again here. I didn't think it was gonna be this difficult to showcase him. I was having a blast yesterday, and I was having a much easier time killing teams. I even had him auto a couple of Jean Greys because of the amount of damage he was able to do. There we go. But he took way too much damage from Reflect. Reflect is definitely a problem for him because he has a very high base damage, and he only has a couple of iframe skills. So you really have to be careful with that, and you really have to bait out Silver Surfer's 3rd skill, which is basically what everyone has to do nowadays. There it is. So we didn't, you know what? We actually didn't even get the penetration there. Maybe the penetration is bugged. I've never seen it before, but that absolutely should have penetrated. There's only a 20% chance for it to miss. You know what? I think the penetration is bugged. I was gonna say it seems like it's only in the skill preview, but no, that definitely should have penetrated, and that definitely should have killed him because he just had the immunity up. Wow, so Cosmic Ghost Rider is bugged. Well, Cosmic Ghost Rider sucks, and then Nova is bugged. What else is new with this update? Wow, this is looking good, guys. Okay, let's try another level 60 team here and see if we can have better results here. Trust me, guys, Nova is good, although he seems to be bugged. But besides that, yeah, you can see he's definitely got some power. I don't think we didn't even get the penetration there. We died to Reflect. Okay, wow. So man, I don't know what to say. Trust me, he is good for PvP. You know, you can see on stream, I have evidence, I have proof that he autoed some Jean Greys because he just locks them down with 5 and 3 and 4, but he does seem to be bugged. Chain Explosion Smash does appear to be bugged, where it does not apply the penetration if he's very close to his enemy. He has to be like a certain distance away for it to trigger. Now, if that's an intended effect, then the devs need to let us know about that, and then that changes his playstyle around a lot, and that actually makes him quite a bit worse because you can't always distance yourself from the enemy. If the skill had like a jump back mechanic, or if another skill of his had a jump back mechanic, and then you could use that to combo into 3, maybe it's a different story. But he is very good for PvP despite my lack of showcase there in the first look. But he definitely will need to be level 70 to compete with tier 3s and things like that. And hopefully the devs will fix this update before it goes live, because I have a lot more criticisms of this update. We're not even close to the end of the criticisms, but in 2 character showcases, I haven't really been able to make the characters look good because they're all flawed. They're all deeply flawed in one way or another. So, where's your hype level at for the update? Let me know what you guys think of Richard Rider Nova. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.